Okay, it's recording now. I'm going to ping my dad, Kim as well. Yeah, Marco, you did a couple of cool UI stuff, right? Um,
Yes, sure.
so maybe you can show us what you have done so
Mhm.
far.
All right. So basically, I need to find the share button. Start sharing. Let's take the screen. So you should.
Hello, Palto.
Hi, Walter.
Hello, hello. How are you? Well, I need just a second. I'll be back.
Hello. Okay. No, I'm twice and browser crashed. I'll try again sharing. Let's see. Share. Share. And okay, now it seems to be working. And I think it's probably more interesting to just go into the visuals, not into the code directly. So so far, what I tried is to recreate a dummy UI. How I think it would be better for the average user to understand what are his options and to minimize searching long time in the menus. Not everything is working, of course. So for example, the pin here, I don't scramble the numbers. It's really just about getting you the structure of the menus and some interactions, not so much the actual optics. So I don't have any graphics, no icons in there. Just all buttons are just pure text. Of course, if we want to really have that in the final code, we should update this if possible to make it look nicer. Of course, we need to have all the security features like scrambling the buttons and so on, but please just take a look at it. With that in mind. The standard pin, of course, is 21 here in Bitcoin, right? For example, I added the firmware version to the lock screen so that you can easily always see if you want to know if you want an update or if you should do an update, you can find it directly every time in the lock screen what the firmware version is. And the main thing I added, I think, compared to or extended compared to the current UI that we have is the status bar on top. So here on top, you always see basically which language do I have, and it's not working yet to change language. But ideally, you had on every screen. I mean, the worst thing you can have as any user is you have a device where you cannot read the buttons. So the language change possibility should be always on top, clearly visible. And ideally, it would not just be some letters, but really the flag of your country, right? So that you could click on, here would be the US or English flag, and then I could switch it to terminal, but not functional yet, but that would be the idea. We also should have, I think, the lock button really on every screen, not just somewhere in the menu, but just one place where whenever you think you have a security issue, you can immediately lock the device. I mean, probably ideally it would also be coupled somewhere to the hardware buttons, but it should also be on screen. And if you click it, it immediately locks again. What I would also like to always see directly is, since, I mean, one of the main features of the Specter is that it supports air gap. And I want to know which interfaces I currently have enabled. That's why I added here this section where you can see, okay, the QR code scanner is on. I have enabled USB, and you see here are some gaps. And if I click somewhere in here, I can go directly to the section to enable disable the interface. So I can now enable the SD card and the smart card, and they show up. And what would also is it's also possible to not only show, it's not just binary, but it should be like have a bit more logic. So for example, if I have talk about the SD card, it would be cool to know does the device have an SD card hardware-wise? Level 1. Level 2 would be the interface is enabled, and the third level, which is shown here in upper cases, is also it's detected that there is actually an SD card in the slot, right? Same also for smart card, right? Do I have the smart card slot enabled? Plus also that would be lowercase SC. I have it enabled, but if it's uppercase, there's also a smart card detected in the slot. And here in the simulation, I have currently an SD card and a smart card in the slot, so that's why they're uppercase. Then of course battery is always here. Power button is also of course, but we see another big gap here in the middle. And this would be the current status of what type of wallet do I have. And of course, currently we have no wallet loaded. So, and since I have a smart card, have the interface enabled, and in the simulation, the device has detected that a smart card is also in the slot, I could now import directly the smart card,
So I'm live,
seed phrase,
know,
not functional, but this would be also the idea that all these menus try to be as smart as possible. So if a certain interface is disabled or a certain card is not detected, then it's not, the option is not shown, right? And also what options I have will change if based on the type of wallet that I have currently loaded. So currently I don't have any wallet, so I first need to add a wallet, and we just have a dummy to generate. You could add the name, but it really doesn't do much. But let's pick wallet number 1 in this case. And we can see now we have the name on top here. We see it's a single signature wallet currently. We are connected to the mainnet or want to use it with mainnet. And in here we have gap. This could be used to show, for example, if I click on here, I get to the manage wallet menu. I could enter a passphrase. Currently I have none, but if I want to set passphrase, whatever, doesn't matter, let's set it. And you see it's also showing me here PP would be, of course this should all be symbols, right? But this is showing me, okay, I currently have a passphrase enabled. We could also add another wallet just to see that it's working and shows us different information. Let's generate now one with testnet multisig, and let's call it wallet number 2. And you see it's shown here, we have the difference, and by clicking here on the wallet we can quickly switch between the two, right? Wallet 1, wallet 2, very easy. And if I want to change the configuration, I click on any of the other icons, and then I get directly to the manage menu for this one. But I could get to the same information also from the main window. And in the main menu, I mean, it's of course not completely a new revolution compared to what we had before, but the main separations I would have is process some input that we might have. So usually you would, if you want to sign a message, you would get a QR code that you can scan, or even if you have your seed QR, this could also be accessed by scan QR, right? It's just like we currently have it. You can load a file from SD. And if you have a single signature wallet, you might want to sign a message. And below that we have the manage section. And I personally would distinguish between manage the wallets that you have, the device, where the device would really be the Specter itself, and any attached storage. So the smart card and the SD card I would put under storage. So if you go here, you have them if they are enabled. For example, if I go back and disable both of them, you will see that also that option disappears because I have nothing to do here, right? Let's enable them again for more fun. And yeah, I mean, it's the main points in the menu here I have taken over from what I've seen in other wallets and what was already there in the Specter. I think it's nothing too revolutionary. Just so we have the address explorer, derivation path. For seed phrase, we have lots of options to store, clear, so remove it somewhere or edit somewhere. And I think for input, it would be best if everybody just plays around with it who's interested and gives just feedback directly somewhere, either in GitHub probably would be easiest. I mean, the thing that would probably be a bit different than compared to now would be for connect to other software wallets. Of course, you could have some generic items in here, but I think for many users it will be helpful if they can go directly to the specific software wallet that they have. And even if this is then some repetitive, because probably this will be very similar for different ones, but I think for many users it will be very easy to just select the solution that they have, just to be nice to them. So I think that would be what I would like to show. Questions? Are there already questions, suggestions, proposals, or anything else you would like to know?
So I think it's
Yeah,
very
that's a great work.
Oh, yeah, Mike can speak to it first.
That's a great work, definitely, but I'm afraid it's a bit too complicated for average user, so it's more like a professional version for experts who know what is their workflow is, what they should do next. And just a very little suggestion, tooltip, using the wording for the language as showing the flags maybe not so appropriate for some users because the flag is a government symbol and not everyone is ready to fully support it. And of course, the same language is used in different countries, so maybe it's not a one-one relationship.
Correct. But would you have a better idea what you other than just text? Is there some other symbolism that you think is?
So I think the text is fine, but probably the language selection should be on the first step, and after that it's not really necessary to indicate it all the time. It would allow the interface to be a bit less complicated, maybe less overloaded, because now we have a very populated dashboard and also a very populated menu. So to me it's fine, it's advanced, but a little bit confusing and distracting. So for me this interface looks a bit too difficult to use, especially if I'm not using this wallet every day. It's totally fine for the professional users who are arranging payments, using it all the time. Like for example, for professional traders, the typical trader terminal, it's a common, very useful thing, but for the users who see it for the first time, it's a completely mess. So they cannot understand what is going on in hundreds of small screens, small diagrams, buttons, menus. So to me, this interface looks more like a trading terminal than like a easy to use wallet. So probably we need to keep both. This one for professionals and to invent something for casual users with less choice on each screen.
Let me put it like
something like Ledger Live maybe, or Trezor's interfaces.
I mean, initially the thing would be less populated, right? It will only be populated once you have, if you have loaded several wallets, right? I mean, in the beginning, let's restart it. Just go back to the screen. It's very it doesn't have a lot of information, right? I mean, okay, if I had enabled the interfaces and but probably I wouldn't have an SD card plus a smart card in at the same time. I would have my smart card in, QR would probably be enabled, USB I would. So this is something I think that is realistic for normal average user. You power the device up, this is the screen you get. It's not very loaded, right? Also the information here is not already there. So the complexity only comes if you have a lot of stuff inserted and you have a lot of things you can do, right? That's the
right.
thing about it. It's adapting to what you have done so far.
I'm thinking maybe adding some more space between buttons could help.
Sure.
What do you think?
I mean, ideally, and this is another question where I'm not super sure what the constraints are. I heard that a couple of times the memory is quite kind of limited and the resources that we have on the device are limited. Of course, for a real interface, it would be much nicer if most of this were graphics, right? So instead of scan QR, you could just have a small icon. Somebody else, I think Schnutz Merlin posted the another thing from too many windows. Let me get this straight. No, where is it? For in Figma, somebody did something in Figma, right?
Yeah, it's in the.
Find this quickly.
It is in the association chat. I can wait a second.
Yeah. I had it open.
I can
somewhere
post it
today.
here in the chat.
All right. Oh yeah, okay. I'll open it, share again. Oh, does it crash again? Let's see. No, it doesn't work. All right, so and here I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and you see here you have all these nice icons, which of course in the real UI should be there as well, right? And I'm not even sure how much text you would need after if the QR icon is really big and probably speaking for itself. For SD card, I would probably choose something that really looks like an SD card. And I've also seen that somebody put some links into the ticket for resources for example, such icons that are open source from some Bitcoin developers. And I think if we use symbols, it's going to be even much better if they are very clear. Then we don't have also so much hassle with the language, right?
Yeah, we definitely should show wherever we can instead of texting it or using it side by side. So this one to me it's a bit easier to understand and to use.
Actually, it's more or less the same. And so the structures are, again, as I said, don't focus on so much.
The structure is more simple. And there are icons.
As I said, I didn't put any icons in there yet. Yeah. Of course
So honestly, the Figma thing looks more simple, but it's in a way more overwhelming on the first screen. Like, why would I, like, a normal user, a Lambda user, would never change the network. It's always mainnet. That's the only thing he knows. So I don't even think that should be displayed on the first screen.
Yeah, sure.
But also this interface looks simpler, but for example, address navigation on the first screen would not work because you haven't loaded a wallet yet. Ah no, sorry, I was not on the first screen. Sorry, that's my bad. I was already somewhere.
Manage wallet, right? If we go to manage.
Yeah, I was in the manage wallet. Yeah.
Right, let's do some dummy here. Manage wallet would look rather similar like this.
Sorry, it's me looking somewhere.
You see the comparison of the manage wallet things. And I think the structure is quite similar, right? Of course, here the fonts are nicer, the symbols are nicer, so I don't think it's either or. We should get the icons in here. Sure. And here that we can mark stuff red. Okay, I think this is something you can easily do also in Python code. Sure, that we should add that here, that this is somehow highlighted in the statement, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then there are also some little things that would be nice not to lose from the current interface. Like I think you're using the keyboard, it looks larger.
Again, this is just it was really just again the main focus I had with this was to have the structure, what to show
yeah.
on which not that it looks nice. Of course, the keyboard is just 5 lines of code. I just asked the vibe coded, show me a display keyboard, right? And no fine tuning went into that, of course.
Okay.
That's not the point of it. This is not the polished version, of course, right? It's just
What I was trying to see.
And what I think is what I like personally is the option to have the most important information on in the status bar, and to access the most important settings quickly via the status bar. So if I want to change which interfaces I have, that this is one touch away, and if I go back, I'm already back in the main menu, and that also the wallet config is just one touch away if I wanted to. That's the thing that I think are the ideas.
I really like, and I like that the menus are kind of building on the usage. That if you're like no wallets yet, it's very simple menu.
Yeah.
Single wallet, simple menu, etc. Okay.
All right.
Cool. What I was saying about the keyboard is like you have this touch, and when you have fat fingers, you can just like press, go, it will highlight some letters, and you just release on the correct letter. It would be nice not to lose some of the cool features like that, but that we had.
Of course. I mean, if that's more. I mean, again, this was just 5 lines of code inserted by asking the AI to vibe code it for me, right? So of course we can make that. I'm sure what these here are for. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
That's a cursor.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the X. Okay, it's just dummy. The question is how, for me a bit, I understood that LVGL is going to be the final framework that we're going to use for UI, or has that already been evaluated? Or?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. Because that's what I already used, and we can start building from here. Regarding the icons, what is the main limitation from hardware regarding I heard we have little RAM or something like that. How small RAM, or what would be the constraints complexity on the device?
Indeed not so small, because we have 16 megabytes of external RAM, which is used for frame buffer, for some RAM storage. As far as I remember, particularly in some versions, it uses for large transactions. But I think we have enough RAM for some nice UI. It's not a strict limitation.
All right, that's cool. That's good. So, so again, for anybody who wants to play with this, the pin is 21. If you have any feedback, put it in the ticket or in the issue. And I personally would like to go ahead here. The next steps I'd like to do is bring multi-language support in there. My target would be that in the end, for each language, everything you would have to upload would just be one text file, and maybe one image. If we go with the flag or not, we'll have to see. But just one text file should be sufficient to add a new language, to make it easy for people from everywhere who are not even coders to bring a new language, ideally, that you don't have to update the source code. I'd like to see after that how to get some icons in here. Yeah, I think these would be the main tasks that I would like to have. And otherwise, I'd wait for feedback from you guys. How can we bring this into real code that would be runnable on the device?
So before we have a look at how to bring it into the real code, you said one thing. Michael Hase, this was is a designer I met at BTC Prague. Richard, who connected him to me. So he's also interested in helping a little bit with the UI and UX of the hardware wallet. He's working at Trezor and I think Frost a little bit, this Frost devices. And he said that you could added the size of the buttons. And like if a button is more important, then you can make it bigger, and the smaller buttons that are not that as important, you can make smaller. And I think this is a very good idea to have like to make the user, to make it easier for the user to find the right button he wants to use.
That's right, but the smallest button are very hard to press on the real device. So they are looking fine and working fine on Unix builds, but quite hard to use on the real Discovery device. So we need to check them.
Yeah, but for example, you could do like so most people, if they like enter the pin code, then most people like want to import the seed phrase with scan QR and or load something from the smart card. And then you could do these buttons very big and all the other buttons just normal or like even a little bit smaller, like maybe half the size or something. I think this would work as well.
But we have physical limitations, so I think it's a good idea to follow the smartphone patterns, like Google published on the minimum button size and minimum distance between the buttons. So they should be useful, especially for the small screen, because we have quite a small screen compared to modern smartphones. So we physically cannot use a lot of buttons, especially if they are small or if they are placed close together.
I mean, we can do something like what I already tried, right? If it's important and with the current configuration, the most logical thing, you could put it on the main screen, right? So for example, this import seed phrase from smart card, if you have your smart cards in and you don't have a wallet loaded, this will pop up directly always on the main menu. This is something I just added today. And one feature I'd also like to add, especially for new users, is not just that the menus adapt to how the configuration is, but if you check, for example, BitKit, they have a tour in the beginning, right? If you detect that the device was factory reset or we need some trigger, I would say if we detect somehow we have it reset completely, then the first time it starts up, I'm not sure how to do it. Ideally, to do it either with text that pop up or have overlays, or somehow we should do a tour of the device for the first user. And of course, always have the option to cancel that, but that we go, okay, now you have nothing, now you need to enter your seed phrase. This goes here. And this is something I would also like to get into. But first, I'd like to do the other stuff because for the languages and for the icons, I think I have more of an idea how to do that, how that works. It should be quite quick to do that, so I would add this first. But this tour demo mode, or however we want to call it, is also something I would have on the roadmap personally for me, just to explore how one can do that.
Yeah, this is very interesting, the roadmap, but I think we should like add this at the very last because I think I'm not a developer, so I'm not very good at. And
yeah, once we see the general flow and it will not change anymore.
Yeah, and also will allow us to collect a lot of ideas and to have time to validate them, to test them, try them. So I think if we will move on the roadmap and propose it our one Telegram group, so we can start with adding tests and porting the existing interface to LVGL9, and then have as a next step to redesign the app and implement better UX. Or maybe we can think about two versions of the UX, like for casual users and for professional users. I think we should think how to use it easier, how to implement it easier on the coding side. That we potentially can have multiple interfaces and things using the same engine.
That would be maybe nice, but for now I'm still believing what Marco showed basically, that it gets like more feature rich when you enable stuff. I still think that this may be enough to cover like all use cases and start with a very like little and easy to use interface, and to discover and enable features on the way, kind of. Also, something I wanted to mention about the memory, and maybe Mike, it's more a question to you. Like we had some use cases with Miniscript with up to 7 different signers with 6 sets of different conditions. So it's a pretty huge script that's not working on Specter DIY. Currently, the only wallet where this one worked was Ledger, and I believe it was not working like a few months ago. They had to tweak some stuff. I reported to Salvatore, and he tweaked some stuff. But for now, I believe we had to reduce to 5 signers and 3 set of conditions, and that was the maximum that was working on Specter DIY.
I think we can explore it, and I believe it's solvable because we have enough of physical memory. Probably this memory is not accessible to MicroPython.
Maybe yes. Yeah, I haven't dig into this completely yet, just mentioning for the first time.
For Ledger, it's possible because they don't store the wallet transaction in the wallet memory. And they are processing by small chunks. Like a set of inputs, then a set of outputs, and then they request the same data again to generate the signatures.
Yeah, they kind of virtualize
a bit different approach, but of course it's very slow.
Yes.
You probably know because you tried.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Fine, so I think I can check it and give more information about how it's possible to do.
Cool.
That's interesting because I think it's important that we support the widest possible use cases, because that's one of our most important features to be compatible with the most useful standards and large transactions that not every wallet can handle.
I haven't reported this yet because other hardware wallets and in multi-sig, multi-vendor, multi-sig, you have other vendors, and they are all limited to way less. So we are not yet there. Cool. So I believe the still remaining question was how to move on from here and where to move on from here. What's the next steps?
So, I mean, speaking for myself, I will just go on implement the features I mentioned. So, multi-language support, icons ideally, and I think the next step then would be what do we have? This demo mode. Unless somebody else is putting in the ticket some other requests for stuff they want to try out, or how to reorganize the structure. So for example, I had to note down the original keyboard layout is something that was requested. Otherwise, I'd go along just as I think is correct, and hopefully somebody will pick it up and try to get the real functionality in there.
Yeah, so one thing, because of the keyboard, I have like some users said that the problem is that if you at the current version, if you like press the upper button, like it's not like a normal keyboard on a smartphone. If you press the button that it should that you should have capital letters, then it stays at capital letters, and you need to manually like type it down that it's like normal letters again, and this has like the problem that it's not that typical normal like typing experience that you have.
Referring to the keyboard as it is now in the current Specter?
Yeah, I
or-
didn't try it yet as with your version.
Okay.
Just wanted to say how it's currently and what users said about it.
And this one is a default from LVGL9, but probably they have some alternative versions.
I mean, you can put, it's probably somehow the callback on the caps lock button works, yeah? We can get into this, I guess.
Okay, since we discussed the keyboard, which is not exactly like about the menus and the like most of the UI stuff, there is also about seed backups using QR codes. Like some hardware wallets, they facilitate it better. For example, they allow to zoom into like portions of the, like for example, Seed Signer has a very small screen. So to manually copy the QR code, they allow to zoom into sections of the QR code. So maybe there is also stuff to look at how others do the export. Some allow not QR code export, but binary format Tiny Seed, if you know this backup, metal backup solution, Tiny Seed. So yeah, some wallets also allow to show in this format so that for a user it's simpler to just copy without needing like some external matching between the Word and the binary version. But that's like
under basically manage wallet, manage seed phrase, right? Yeah. So show seed phrase, and then we could have show it in different formats, right?
Exactly, different formats. We already have a few different formats, but we could add some more here and see how other wallets handle this.
I think there was even one guy who wanted, because it was like, I think it was a couple of months ago before we had the association going on, who wanted to have something like this, like another format for the seed phrase, because he said sold like metal backups. If this would be implemented, I'm going to have a look at him, and then I can like bring him into the developer, the DIY builder group or something. Then he can like give his, or I don't know.
On this, I would say I hate like proprietary backup formats that should not exist. But if it's something more or less like standardized, like the binary format, pure seeds or whatever.
Schners, do you mean? Sorry, Schners, do you mean that guy with a transparent sheet of plastic for backups?
I think I was in English. No. I think he's going to fetch it. Seed protector, is that what you mean? I think. No, that's probably, that didn't work right. Oh, yeah, good. Seed protectors. I think that's what you mentioned.
Protect. Yeah, that's it. I had a small discussion with this guy, over WhatsApp. He is interested to pay for implementing his solution, but not in real funds, but with some investment money that he needs to secure first. So he wanted to make it in advance, and then he can address his investors to get the funding for it. But also, to me, his solution is absolutely insecure. So, personally, I prefer not to be connected with this implementation because I would never use it for my own backups. It's insecure due to few reasons. First, it uses a secret share manually by just dividing it into few sheets, not using Shamir secret sharing. Second, it involves a human in the loop, which see your secrets. And third, it uses clear plastic, which is not so hard and the pen, so it can burn or deteriorate it over time.
Yeah, personally, it was enough for me to. I will never use it. Also, I was just scrolling through the web page, and yeah, it looks like overwhelmingly complicated for nothing, and like reinventing multiple wheels at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this was like the thing I thought at first as well. So he had like two proposals. He also had the idea that you could like enter like normal data and store it onto the smart card or something. This was one thing. He said,
yes. He also wanted to store the seed in plain text in a smart card. It's not exactly a smart card. It's just NFC token, like in dog collars or implantable chip, which can be easily read. His idea is just this token should be stored in a safe, so nobody can read them.
yeah, so
Maybe not all ideas are good to take.
yeah, this was like
yes.
I
He also advised to put it in the bank safe cell for storage, but of course everyone knows that bank also has a key and can inspect your cell storage compartment every time they need. So for me it looks totally unsafe.
yeah, but I just there was like another guy as well. So there were like two metal backup guys. I'm
Really?
not, I don't have the link currently, but I can like I can show have a look now, and maybe I can like post it here while the call, or maybe later afterwards in the video description or something. Yeah, you can already move on. So
So what is the next on our agenda?
yeah,
Sorry, I didn't pay attention to the last minute.
Sturz, what is the next in our agenda?
so I don't.
What should we need to discuss?
Yeah, so maybe we can discuss the roadmap you shared. So I think this would
Oh, great. Just give me a second. I will try to share it.
And while you load it, like after the weird backup solutions, would be still nice, I believe, to like at some point to add stuff like SeedXOR, maybe Shamir, secret sharing on the device to enable use of this kind of advanced use cases. But that should be clearly like also tagged as advanced use and with proper documentation on how to use it properly, because it's so easy to fuck up.
Yeah, it's quite strange that that guy didn't decided to follow the industry practice and decided to reinvent the wheel in not so secure way. Just a second. My computer doesn't want
Maybe
to
using
share the screen.
ChatGPT to
No, maybe.
create his product. That was not the right move. Probably try to display the screen.
Mike is. Mike, do you have your roadmap ready?
Just a second, because Chrome was not allowed to have access to the screen. So I'm sorry for the delay. Do you see my screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so here is some intersection. Then we have a roadmap and the milestones. As for the roadmap, as I see it, the first step could be to no. These are not the steps. These are more like objective. What we decide to do, and the actual steps I have moved it to the next section. So what I see as a points of growth for the project is to improve the user interface. So it could be more pretty, more simpler, more clean, and easy to use, especially for the broader audience, not limiting to Bitcoin professionals.
Yeah, completely. Then you can perfectly work together with Marco, and maybe if some other designers came in, and
Yeah, and I hope that LVGL9 could help us in this way, because it has more widgets, they have more features, it's more smoother. I also have some ideas how to make it run faster on STM, but it needs to be tested first. Then what would be nice to have is broader test coverage, including UI tests, integration tests, probably with Bitcoin Core, the unit tests for all the features, and possibly also with hardware in the loop, so we can connect the real discovery board and to run the test of this board, with capturing the screen and returning back to the computer. Of course, it will require some instrumentation on the boarded side, so it probably would be a separate build for testing, not a general purpose firmware. The next thing, I believe it should be nice to have a continuous integration and code quality checks. We already have deterministic builds, that's great. We have some automation on signing the firmware, but we can move forward by enforcing code formatting, static analysis, code quality check, to make sure that once we get more contributors, the code quality will not suffer. We also have the same look of the code base, which is not absolutely existing at the time, because some pieces of software were written by different people in different times and look a bit different from the code formatting and from the API side as well. We can also integrate commit message validation, maybe commit sign-offs like it's done in MicroPython, and to collect code quality metrics. Because there are automation tools which can do it. On every push, for example, on every push, we can run an automated script like CodeQL, which parses the whole code base and depicts possible weak points which can be seen in the repo. The next important thing is good developer documentation that it really can help attract more contributors. So to me, the optimal way it's like in MicroPython or maybe a bit beyond. It's not fully documented. Its internals often lack a lot of important things. So to make changes to its core, you need to reverse engineer its code with just a bit of comments. But the external API is very well documented. So I think the same thing can be implemented in Specter as well. And then I think it would be nice to consider the next generation of the shield board, where we can implement everything we are missing in current shields with an open source secure element, which is gaining more popularity now from Trezor. We can also implement some open source alternative to QR scanners like Raspberry Pi Pico microcontroller plus a camera which can do QR scanning without being reliant on Chinese manufacturer, which can supply a different version of the same name with different firmware, which have different behaviors. And of course, we will change USB to USB-C.
But wait a second. For the shield, the new shield board. So do you want to have?
Oh, I'm sorry, Schnert. May I leave for a minute because I have a delivery now.
You have?
I will get back in
Okay, yeah,
1
perfect.
minute. Okay.
Just meanwhile, wanted to say I would I understand some concerns about QR code scanners, but QR code scanner has also a good. It's good in terms of security also because it's kind of very isolated and require minimal libraries on the software side of the firmware. So, if it's a camera that is processed on a separate board which has a separate firmware, maybe it's kind of okayish. But yeah, I definitely would like to avoid image processing on Specter DIY.
Yeah, this is I think a good reasonable argument we already posted in the group. Another thing is about because Mike already shared the QR code scanner that he's or the camera module he has in mind, and there are like a couple of so the most concerning thing for me because I want to sell them later is that it is like 10 euros or more expensive than the M3Y scanner we are currently implementing. And yeah, this is like from like it's you would like make the hardware wallet more expensive,
Well,
or
consider
if you want to sell
consider
it you
firmware
make less
development.
money.
Consider firmware development as part of the cost also.
Yeah, on top. Yeah, on
So,
top of that. So
like,
this is like
if Y3 is cheaper, but you need to redevelop constantly stuff to match their development and their new batches that silently change shit, it's also development on our side and cost on our side.
you mean
That
if
adds to your cost.
so you mean if we stay with the M3Y scanner?
Yeah.
So do you think that they are going to change them, or so in I'm not.
They do.
They do.
They
Okay.
do. So yeah, we need to either to be able to deal with that and or to have multiple alternative solutions.
So
like
yeah.
for example, I worked like at some hardware manufacturer company, and when they designed the board, they knew that the memory manufacturing, the RAM, may have shortage. So they designed the board to be compatible with 3 different chips directly. So that if one is in shortage, you can switch to different manufacturers.
Yeah, this is kind of a good idea to have multiple. So then we would even have two different ones after we would implement the M3Y scanner. So we had the EM65 scanner and then the
I don't remember which one was used at the very beginning, like the super expensive one. It's still there, it's still working, right?
I'm sorry, guy. I have to take delivery of the parcel, otherwise it will be put on the warehouse and I will never get it.
Yeah, please continue.
So now we are coming to the milestones. As I see it, the first milestone is to make foundational things, including migration to LVGL9 of existing UI code to bring up it and test it on the discovery board, and set up continuous integration things in the basic degree. Then we will come to testing and automation to make all these tests running. We will improve documentation on the next step and make it auto-generatable from the code comments. And when the project is established and mature, I think we can move to UX UI stage, especially because we will have enough time to collect all the proposals for the UI UX. We can choose the best one and to implement it in the code. And the fifth milestone, which can actually be done in parallel, if decided, is to make the new Specter shield, taking into account everything we need from the current hardware, but don't have. Okay, that's all. So, what do you all think about it?
Nice. About the documentation, I don't know the MK doc thing. I tried a while ago Autodoc. I think I even uploaded something to the repo with Autodoc, which is obviously out of date now, slightly, but will be largely out of date after the library upgrade and will need to be redone.
I also have absolutely no experience with MKDocs. I just chosen it for web capabilities to make the documentation online. But of course, we should consider every other option for some can work better. I mostly using Sphinx and Oxygen to generate the code from the comments, but mostly using it locally as a local web page, not publishing it.
Okay. Then maybe, I don't know if now it's good time to discuss about the QR code, the readers model and stuff, or...
No, why not?
Okay, so I was mentioning just that about the MY3 that it costs less, but need also to be mindful of the fact that they might change again the firmware in the future, and that we need to adapt on our side, and that it piles up to the cost. On the other version that you suggested, Mike, I think it was like camera-based something, ESP32.
Yeah. So we can just put a bare camera sensor plus a separate microcontroller, which will make QR decoding in software.
Several remarks on this. So first, the QR code scanners, they usually come with like red light, flashlight, different like light enhancing solutions that first let you see what you're scanning without like image processing and displaying on the screen. And also,
do you need the aiming light or the backlight light?
Honestly, I don't know the correct terms, but the red line that shows you the area that you are scanning,
like in supermarket.
Sorry?
Like in supermarket.
Yeah. But some of the scanners, like the ones I have on my older devices, they all have this line that shows you the area that you scan. And it's helpful because it helps you to be at the right distance from the QR code without having an image preview to do this.
I think a better way would be try to make the image preview.
So that's
we can. Sorry.
That's the other comment. Like Stepan in the initial design, he always said like let's like minimize the software dependencies. If we don't need to process images, it's better. You have like much smaller software stack, less attack vector, less attack surface. So if it's possible to completely avoid image processing on the Specter DIY, I would be like all for it.
As I see it, the image processing would be on a different MCU. So the solution will include a separate
on
MCU.
A different MCU, then you don't have the preview. But then you don't have the preview. If the processing is separate.
Why not? We can use a high-speed SPI connection and to transmit in highly compressed JPEG format the frames. I think.
But you see the software will be increased a lot. the software stack already increased a lot for doing this.
Maybe, but it can be done on the separate screen, which have only QR preview, and wallet is not doing anything except for receiving these JPEGs and displaying them on screen.
So you probably know, like, my background and my use of Specter DIY and other hardware wallet is in hodling. We do multi-vendor, multi-sig. And honestly, cameras are pain in the fucking ass. It's horrible. All hardware wallets that have cameras, they are horrible to use. It's like complete shit. And QR code scanner, a proper, like, good QR code scanner, like the one that is used on Cold Card, on Specter DIY, on like the older one, the super expensive one that we had at the very beginning, they are like amazing. It's very quick to scan. The preview, maybe like on most hardware devices that use cameras, the preview is super lagging. So it's very difficult to focus on the QR code. So yeah, I would seriously, like, I would try to avoid the cameras as much as possible and to go with a QR code scanner.
That's not a problem if QR scanner is doing the job and still available.
Yes,
why not use it?
Of course. And why not, like, building our own QR code scanner maybe one day? But yeah, it's like some extra work.
So I think this fifth milestone is optional, and probably we can leave it for future. The more interesting thing could be integrating the secure elements, but I also have an alternative idea to make it in the form of a smart card. It's a smart card with a small addition on top. It can be slided in the existing case, so no modification to the case is needed, no modification to the shield probably also needed. We started this idea with Stepan, but using the different secure element from Maxim Semiconductors.
I remember the idea.
Maybe you remember I shared the pictures.
Yeah. I like that idea also. I like actually both ideas. They are like both interesting to have the secure element on the shield, like kind of always present, or have one on the smart card. Maybe like go crazy and have both. Like, you know,
maybe for some use cases when you need multiple instances, like multiple universes.
Cold Card uses two, and okay, like most of it is bullshit marketing for me, but like they also do some fun use case out of the second secure element. If you consider the one on the smart card, would be nice to also have a touch sensor to enable use cases like FIDO and OTP.
FIDO and OTP.
So to have a touch sensor on the smart card.
Yeah. So as I understood,
like the YubiKey.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's mainly for the FIDO.
But on YubiKey, it's just a sensor. It's not a fingerprint. Particularly on the basic keys, they have some advanced keys with fingerprint scanners, but basic keys just use a capacitive button.
For FIDO, it's just the presence sensor.
Yeah, why not? We even can put some LEDs for indication.
for some fun, yeah.
Or maybe an OLED screen if we are going very crazy. It's just a matter of capabilities of the chip, how it's programmable. Didn't have time yet to study what the Tracer is exactly offering in terms of firmware. So depending on
the Tropic Square,
what can we run on it, or is just a storage.
The Tropic Square for now, it's extremely disappointing. It's pure
Really?
storage. It's pure storage. You can't do anything. So it's still based on RISC-V, so you can potentially do
because
a lot.
on the block diagram I saw there is a MCU core.
Yeah. You can potentially do a
way
lot.
to run our firmware on it. No?
Yeah. Okay, so not in the secure element. That would run on the side.
Yeah, because on the smart card we can run our firmware on ST's secure elements, like in Ledger. We can run our firmware.
Yeah.
Especially the downloadable apps on Ledger are running on the secure element.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah. But that's one of the not so many devices that use secure element for more than offline storage. And unfortunately, I talked a lot to them, to Tropic Square, to understand where it's going and how fast it will be really useful. And for now it's just replacing the, let's say, the proprietary NDA based secure element where you don't want to sign the NDA, so you only use it for storage. So for now that's the use case, and they will add extra functionalities like signing, for example, within, but it's not yet there at all.
And it's not user configurable, the signing on itself. So you cannot implement your own signing. You just should use what they are offering.
Yeah. So they have like some cryptographic primitives, but the signing ones are not yet there. At least not for the Bitcoin curve.
I expected something like ST31, ST35, like in Ledger, but with no NDA.
It will be the case, but in several years of development.
So one thing, because we are like a little bit over time, we are at 15 minutes over time. I think, like, if someone wants to leave now, you could now leave. And I think we could, if someone wants to stay, we can like discuss the like important parts of Mike's roadmap, so that we can like have all the important things here, and we can like move forward and get a grant from Opensats. So I think we shouldn't focus on the details right now, but like only on the stuff we want to show Opensats to get the funding.
Great reminder. Thanks. Because otherwise we can
I think we already have covered a lot of things today.
I would step out. Dinner is almost ready, but I'll be back next week. See you guys.
Perfect. See you, Marco.
Thanks,
see you,
everyone.
Marco.
See you next week.
Yeah. Do we, Mike, are you coming to the retreat? Yeah?
Yeah.
Great. So see you.
Yeah, I'm coming this Sunday, and we'll stay till the next Sunday.
Wonderful.
Also
I'm still staying today. Sorry?
So I'm also planning to visit SatsConf.
Yeah, great. And Salvador after it or not?
No.
Okay.
Don't have such plans.
I'm asking because I will ask in the DIY retreat group. I'm asking because I will see maybe there is a better candidate than me for doing this, but if not, I would like to do it adopting Bitcoin a kind of summary of what happened at this DIY retreat, like a presentation.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you are doing this presentation in El Salvador.
Yeah. Yeah. I will see. It was just an idea. If someone is motivated and is more technical than I to do that, it would be great. If not, I'll take the torch and do it. Cool. Really motivating to see the roadmap. Question to both of you, like what so as I understood, you want to send something to Opensats for the grant, and the idea now is like, yeah, please go on.
Yeah, the idea is exactly as you said, to present it to Opensats to receive a grant, but the question is which things we need to claim, so it should look interesting for them to fund. So we need to show the value for the world Bitcoin community, especially for the people interested in self-custodian storage, or in some custom solutions based on flexible hardware wallets, not covered by industrial wallets.
And also, I think that something that we need somehow to politely reinforce also in our communication is, for example, I will learn more in this DIY retreat about the other wallets, but for example, Seed Signer, I'm not like a huge fan because like for a normal person to travel with these, you have to have the seed somewhere to load it on the Seed Signer. So now there is Seed Keeper plus Seed Signer support, but still the firmware of the Seed Signer, you have no guarantee that it's still secure. So when you travel with it and you put back the micro SD card, where does this micro SD card comes from? What software is on it? They don't have a secure bootloader. So I believe that Specter is really like the best of all worlds, where we have like secure element, we have secure bootloader, we try to like have anti-phishing protection on the firmware side. So you have like the best protection of some of the industrial wallets like Ledger, upgrade firmware, upgrade protection. So a dump user who just upgrade from like the official firmware, he has the certainty that the firmware verified the signature and blah, blah, blah. So you don't have these in most of the other DIY solutions. And we probably should like also like politely not attacking other projects, but politely push on these aspects also.
Maybe you can write it in a few sentences.
I can try to
the strongest points for you, especially.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Otherwise, I think it's good. Part of the DIY retreat, I'm also interested to learn like from the other project how they get financing, because Seed Signer, they got multiple grants from Human Rights Foundation. The Luca, who organized the whole thing.
I thought they are living on the sales of devices.
Honestly, I don't think so. I never bought any single device from anyone. I built them myself. So I don't think so. And like all the workshops that I did, like dozens of devices, I have a friend who 3D print the cases, and we just buy the parts and assemble them during the workshops. So
that's the beauty of DIY wallets. So you can do it yourself.
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
even encourage it to do it.
Exactly. So, yeah. What I was going to say, Lucas, who organized the DIY retreat, he is apparently really good in obtaining grants. At least you know that like most of the people are covered for the flights and hotel by Human Rights Foundation, and that was him who did
Yeah,
the demand.
we met with him on the previous Bitcoin Plus Plus in Florianopolis
Cool.
last
Cool.
year.
Yeah, I think him multiple times also. Yeah. But yeah, also eager to learn how they do and to get some inspiration.
Yeah, they also have some Bitcoin Core developers here in Brazil, which are constantly receiving funding for what they are doing.
Yep.
And they help them to arrange this funding.
Cool. Well, thanks, gentlemen.
So would be very glad to see you soon.
Same.
Perfect.
Happy
Yeah.
to see you soon.
Yeah, you will
Bye,
see
guys.
each other, and we see
Bye-bye.
maybe in the next builder call. And yeah, great.
Yep.
Great to see things moving forward.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao.